This is the heart of America. Here in 11 of the nation's 15 largest cities live 93 million people. This 10% of the nation's area contains 50% of its buying power, 2/3 of its wholesale markets, 3/4 of its production facilities. Almost as if it were the result of a natural master plan, the transportation complex of this heartland converges at a central point, the northeast corner of Ohio. Already one of the fastest growing areas of the nation, and always among its most prosperous, this heart of the heartland has now entered its seaway era. Its 4 great ports, Conneaut, Ashtabula, Fairport, and Cleveland, now lie on the trade routes of the world. In the light of its already strategic position in the center of the key markets of the United States, this gives world importance to the corridor. The Cleveland Corridor, which is now more than ever the best location in the nation. The corridor extends 85 miles from the Ohio-Pennsylvania border to the western edge of the city of Cleveland. Its depth is 10 miles. The Cleveland sector, due to its natural advantages as well as its position in the center of the country's richest markets, is one of the world's most highly concentrated industrial areas, gives the corridor its name, and sets the pace of its progress. Since the end of World War II, that pace has been a furious one, for the city and its industries have grown faster than the nation. And port facilities have expanded in proportion. Steel is the heart of Cleveland's economy, and the payroll from this industry alone is in excess of $200 million a year. Production facilities have been expanded 87%. Cleveland rolling mills account for 12% of the nation's steel strip and sheet. The automotive industry has poured some $700 million new dollars into Cleveland area plants in the past decade, making it a second capital of the automotive world. No less than 375 firms carry on research programs in the Cleveland area, providing a firm foundation for continuing industrial progress. Over the same 10-year period, Cleveland payrolls are up 137%. Retail store sales up 140%. 164,000 new homes have been built. New industrial and commercial construction, $4 billion. Keeping pace with this growth, new management headquarters buildings have greatly expanded the city's office space and are changing the contour of its skyline. It's a city of parks and malls, wide streets and tall buildings. It's a brisk, bustling, growing city with a record of progress behind it and a dynamic program for the future. Existing freeways have been expanded. New ones have been built. Cleveland's downtown airport, a 5-minute ride from the center of town, has been improved and expanded. Cleveland Hopkins, one of the nation's largest airports, has been completely rebuilt. From the web of its gigantic runways, planes of 11 major airlines can take you within 2.5 hours to most of America's richest markets. Whether it be its art museum with its priceless masterpieces, its world-renowned library with its collection of nearly 3 million volumes, its 3 daily newspapers recognized as among the outstanding in the nation, its rapid transit system tying together the city's east and west sides, or its lakefront docks, the keynote of the Cleveland sector of the corridor is expansion, improvement, development. The opening of the seaway found the Port of Cleveland, which handles some 20 million tons of cargo annually, in an enviable position among Great Lakes ports. Practically all of the improvements necessary for efficient handling of lake, interlake, and overseas trade are completed, under construction, or officially approved for action. 2 new docks, capable of handling the largest vessels, are already in service. Cleveland's 5 major dock companies have available 350,000 square feet of warehouse storage space. Cranes up to 65 tons available at dockside. While the Port of Cleveland is world-renowned for its handling of lake-borne bulk commodities, it stands second among Great Lakes ports in the volume of overseas shipments. The inevitable result of Cleveland's dramatic growth has been expansion in the remainder of the corridor, which extends 60 miles to the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. In this area are all the resources American industry looks for in new plant locations. First of all, there are still vast acreages available for plants of any description. 2 main-line east-west railroads bisect the corridor from end to end. They bring the East Coast markets or the Chicago-Milwaukee areas of the Midwest within an overnight haul. 4 major north-south lines link each of the corridor's port cities with the southern markets. The Lakeland Expressway brings most of the corridor area within half an hour's drive of downtown Cleveland. The Conneaut to Cincinnati Freeway, a 310-mile limited access highway, bisects the corridor and links it to the New York Thruway, to the east-west Ohio Turnpike, and to the south. A lake-to-river freeway from Ashtabula to East Liverpool is planned for the future. Northern portions of this road through the corridor are already under construction. From anywhere in the corridor, a vehicle will soon be able to travel east to Boston or New York, west to Chicago without encountering a traffic light. Add the lake and ocean-going ships at the corridor's 4 ports, the 22 major airlines, and the 150 truck lines that serve the area, and you have a transportation network unexcelled anywhere in the world. Perhaps the corridor's most interesting potential to American industry is the fact that it contains 4 major ports within a distance of 85 miles. Cleveland, Conneaut, Ashtabula, and Fairport. All but Cleveland are surrounded by open land ideal for plant sites. Fairport, for example, is one of the finest natural ports left on the Great Lakes. It has land immediately adjacent to the waterfront and available for development. Rail facilities already serve the site. Plans involving 12 millions worth of port and harbor improvements are under consideration. Even without them, however, ships with drafts up to 24 feet can dock at Fairport and receive or discharge railborne or truck cargoes. Ashtabula's growth as a port since World War II has been phenomenal. In total waterborne commerce, she ranks 10th among all Great Lakes ports. In receiving iron ore, 5th. Into this excellent harbor pours 10% of the ore received by all ports on the lakes. Ore that supplies 28% of Pittsburgh's needs, 19% of Steubenville's, and 24% of those of the Youngstown, Warren area. As a port, Ashtabula's name has become significant in the iron ore trade. Today, however, it also handles building materials and limestone for the great chemical industry that has grown up on its doorstep. The port offers 30,000 feet of dock frontage, plus open storage for 4 million bulk tons. Major expansion of its port facilities has been going on since 1955, during which more than $9 million have been spent for enlarging frontage and deepening channels. This is one of the few ports on the Great Lakes that can now accommodate ships of 25 feet draft through the harbor and up to dockside. With plenty of open land available near the port, the railroads, and the new highways, Ashtabula is expected to be a major contender for important seaway commerce. 12 miles east of Ashtabula is the port of Conneaut, which already ranks among the top 3 with Cleveland and Chicago as an ore receiving port. The 4 docks at Conneaut offer 3,000 feet of frontage with open storage capacity of more than 1.5 million tons. Present harbor depth is 25 feet, with extension to 27 feet contemplated in the near future. Another vital ingredient in the matter of plant location is adequate water, and in this respect, too, the corridor is blessed. To put it in a word, there is ample water for any purpose. The source is Lake Erie's inexhaustible flow of remarkably good raw water. The 22 excellent water systems in the corridor, with their reserves and expansion possibilities, can meet any foreseeable demand for the future. For industries that prefer their own water systems, ample basic resources are readily available. In the light of its unique market position, its transportation networks, its water and raw materials, it should come as no surprise that the corridor's industrial and economic growth far outstrips the nation. Large industry and small has moved in, giving the area a widely diversified industrial complex. During the past decade, the eastern sector of the corridor alone has increased industrial production by more than 72%. The chemical industry has been particularly interested in the corridor. 17 companies have invested more than $500 million in 40 major plants in the Paynesville, Fairport, and Ashtabula area. One of the major reasons for the corridor's industrial growth is the reputation its workers have developed for high productivity. While some sections of the country have lower wage rates, their labor costs are actually higher because of lower output per individual. The labor market in the corridor is of excellent quality. Special skills of all kinds are readily available. The education level is high, the leadership outstanding. These are competent, stable workmen and good citizens. This is reflected in their excellent schools, which provide a steady source of technically trained manpower. Their outstanding churches of all faiths and denominations. And in the many community service institutions to be found throughout the corridor. The corridor is also just a good place in which to live. A place where lakes and forests, picnic areas, and bathing facilities are either on your doorstep or a short drive away. For the boat owner, there are no better sailing waters than those off the shore of Lake Erie. For the youngsters, well, there's everything from soapbox derbies to Little League baseball. And baseball in this area is a mighty serious thing. As for the executive force, the corridor offers a social and recreational climate among the best to be found anywhere. There are many fine private country clubs, airfields suitable for private and executive aircraft, numerous excellent yacht clubs and marinas, outstanding private schools available for both young men and women, and close proximity to Cleveland's cultural institutions, such as Severance Hall, home of the famed Cleveland Orchestra, the world-renowned Cleveland Playhouse, exclusive shops of nationally known retailers, and several major colleges, offering among them all the specialties of higher education. This, then, is the Cleveland Corridor, outstanding for transportation, for ample water supplies, for highly skilled labor, a good place to live, and for most industries, the best location in the nation. Throughout this corridor, new superhighways reach out in all directions, opening it wide for expansion. Best of all, there's plenty of room in which to expand. Hundreds of plant sites are available with complete information regarding them. The area development staff of the Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company has had vast experience in the selection of exactly right locations for industries of all types. Typical of the excellent sites available in the corridor is this 725-acre tract in Mentor, Ohio. The New York Central Railroad borders the site. The Nickel Plate and B&O operate in the area. The Lakeland Expressway, high-speed road to downtown Cleveland, will divide the plot into 180 and 545-acre parcels. Direct access is provided from two state routes, and the major highway, Route 20, is 1 mile south. 2 miles away is a direct interchange with the Conneaut-Cincinnati Freeway, which links with the Ohio Turnpike. Deep water ports are Fairport, 9 miles away, and Cleveland, 20 miles. The terrain is level, the site zoned for industry. It's ideal for light to medium industry. Here is a 1,400-acre tract which is directly connected to a large deep water pier in Ashtabula Harbor. New York Central switching service is available. The Nickel Plate and Pennsylvania roads also operate in the area. The site, which can be subdivided, fronts on Lake Erie, is crossed by 2 roads. Route 20 is a half-mile south. The New York Central Road provides daily switching service on the southern boundary. The deep water port of Ashtabula is 3 miles distant. However, private lakefront facilities could be developed. The terrain is leveled and is located in the heart of the corridor's chemical shore. Wherever an industry might choose to locate within the corridor, it will find an unlimited source of electric power available through the facilities of the Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company. They invite you to inquire of its area development department for further details on the Cleveland Corridor. Now more than ever, the best location in the nation.